Hello and welcome into the RotoWire esports show. I am Andrew Laird, joined as always by Ethan Sexton. Today to talk about Friday's 4-series LPL LCK slate. Ethan, we did a great tout job yesterday of talking up Damwon about how great they are, and then at the last minute we're like, but Gen G's pretty good. Something can happen. And so I think we just nailed it with Gen G.
Yeah, let's give ourselves all the credit, right? No, I mean, I'm glad we threw that in there because it is true what I said yesterday about Gen G being pretty good. So I definitely didn't expect them to win today. And, I started the video by saying I thought Damwon would roll, and I truly believed that.
Yeah.
So it was more just a caveat, little token thing at the end of the video to throw in. Gen G should be good, so I don't want to completely dismiss them, but I am expecting them to get rolled. But, yeah, it didn't happen, which, things don't always work out the way we plan, right? Or we'd be rich from playing DFS.
That's right. I will give a shout out to Evan Roth, who commented on our video yesterday saying that we definitely did not give Gen G enough credit, and I believe he specifically said not to sleep on them.
Yep.
I think we definition slept on them, and they won, and that was that. Thunder Talk, I still don't know if they're any good, but we know that Rogue Warriors are still horrific. So there's that. Hanwon won as we thought, and then WE took care of business. No sweep against BLG, but we knew of the two other ones, that one and Hanwha, we figured that one was more likely to go 2-1 anyway. So
yep,
just patting ourselves a little more.
Right.
Let's jump into this Friday slate. We've got EDG, humongous favorites against E-Star. JDG, pretty big favorites against LNG. T1, favorite against DRX. I was actually surprised at how close that one was odds-wise. Not that it's that close, but T1 just not a huge favorite. They're minus 235 right now. Right. And then Red Force and Afrika, basically a coin flip. Both are under even money, so that one is probably just more of a pricing thing of how we attack that one. But am I crazy to think that that T1 should take care of DRX now that it seems like they've figured some things out?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that line of thinking. It's just like, how much trust do we have in these guys, right? How many times have they let us down in a similar position? It's hard to trust it, but yeah, I mean, I subscribe to that theory of thinking as well, but it's just, I don't know, it's just, tomorrow's tough, looking at it, on paper, because it seems like, the only underdog that really has much of a chance is going to be Afrika, but yeah. I've talked about how I don't like Afrika all year, but it's really hard to get these other three teams in. It's really hard to make any combinations of EDG, T1, and JDG really work tomorrow. So it's difficult.
I'm struggling every time I see T1 on a slate. Like, I can't tell if the disappointment is about their play or their lineup. And have I been burned with the lineup enough that I'm just like, I don't want to play them. It doesn't matter who they're playing because I don't want to zero, or I think that they're just not good. I think if we knew exactly who was going to play, we knew, we'd feel better about them, right?
Yeah, I think definitely the lineup confusion plays a role in this year, but also they've been pretty bad for what they should have been this year, right? So it's a little of both.
True.
I think the lineup issues have been even more frustrating than the fact that they're, they were barely 500 for a long time,
right.
When they were expected to be one of the two best teams in the league coming into the season. So I think it's a little of both, but I think the overwhelming, for me, the most frustrating part is the lineup confusion. I mean, if you play them and they get upset, that's one thing. Upsets happen. It's annoying, but it's not you expect that to happen from time to time. But playing one guy and the other guy's in and just having no clarity or any rhyme or reason for pretty much all of the season so far is by far more frustrating to me.
For sure. Do you have a team that you want to focus on tomorrow?
I mean, it's EDG, but man, you're paying for it, right? And I think they can pay off those salaries. Like it's a really good matchup and everything, but it's just so hard. As I look at the player pool, it's just so hard to combine them with something. Like it makes it really, really difficult unless you want to take a shot on an underdog. And I just don't love any of these underdogs tomorrow. Like I said, like Africa, excuse me, Africa are the underdog, like that look the best odds wise and on paper and stuff. But man, I'm not excited about them playing them at all. And DRX, if you think T1 are still like in this up and down, who knows what they're doing type season. I mean, DRX have a better record so far this year, but I'm not that excited about using them either because I just don't think they win. Like all things being equal, and then I'm not touching E-Star because I think they get crushed, and LNG, it's like, could they beat JDG? I could see it, but it's hard to fathom. I give them a chance, but I think JDG are playing pretty well. They're playing better, and I think they're just better than LGD top to bottom. Or LNG, excuse me, top to bottom, and it just makes it really tough for lineup construction tomorrow. I mean, I haven't liked anything I've tried to build yet today, to be honest. So it's a tough slate, but I mean that makes it good because I guess hopefully that means there won't be one way that everybody wants to go, and we get some disparity amongst our lineups. So
yeah, I think
I don't know. It's just it's frustrating.
The worst part about that Africa Red Force matchup is that I don't want either side of it, but it seems like just salary-wise, like you're going to end up there unless, like we said, unless you go DRX, E-Star, or LNG. But like if that Red Force Africa series was the lowest scoring one on the slate, at least in terms of like the winner being the lowest scoring winner, like nobody's surprised at that. And so it's like, why am I basically prioritizing the lowest scoring winning team ultimately it's because I don't want to have to play two supports. Like it's something like that. Like
yeah,
it's weird that I feel like we're going to see two series lineup strategies on a slate that has 4 series because you just really don't want to touch the underdogs.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, it's a tough one to build. I mean, I think we might see a lot of double support because even double jungle is really hard to build tomorrow. So, man, unless you're going the underdog route, it really is going to be a challenge to make lineups that you feel great about, I think. I mean, if you want to take a shot on the underdogs, that's, you're going to be able to get some carry captains in there. But I don't know, man. Like, can Africa put up enough points if they upset, like you just said? And same with LNG. Like, if LNG won, I feel like they wouldn't score that well necessarily. And I don't know, man. Like E-Star's not even, again, they're not even in my consciousnness at all. Like I'm not going near them. And then DRX, I don't really want to either. And I mean, are they going to steamroll T1 if they win? It's just, it's really, it makes it a challenge.
Yeah, it feels like a slate where you might be better off just going completely crazy with like a 2-2-1-1, some like ridiculous splits, because like you literally cannot combine JDD and EDG either one long stack. Like there are 0 combinations. You can't even captain the team slot and make a lineup. So like I wonder if instead of being like, well, let me try to play those 2 teams somehow and then just completely punt one spot, I wonder if that's actually more detrimental than, well, just take 2 JDG, 2 EDG, and then just sprinkle 1 from each and just hope for the best. But like the pricing, particularly those 2 teams, and they should be priced up. Like they're the 2 big favorites and they score a ton of fantasy points. So like I'm not saying that the pricing is bad,
right?
But ultimately you're going to have to go elsewhere. Like there's just, you can't build with just those 2 teams, and so you have to start thinking that you want to, and really you're going to want to build in guys from T1 because they win. And then if you don't do that, now you're like, all right, now I'm now I'm playing Red Force. And you're just like eventually just falling down this stream of like, I can't play this, can't play this, can't play this. And then you're like, oh, this works. And you're like, oh, I have 3 Afrika pieces. And I don't want that either.
I know. I mean, I even tried making lineups with like the pieces of Afrika that I sort of like. So, like I put Keane in, and like you even can't really make a great lineup doing that. Like, it's just, it's really tough. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'd say about doing the scatter shot approach there, as I'm going to coin it here.
Yeah.
Don't think it's ever been called that, but the scatter shot, like 2-2-1-1-1 or whatever. You just need so much to go right.
Yeah.
It makes it really tough. I mean, that's why stacking is so popular, because it is correlative anyway. But you really only need, if you can stack 2 teams, you only need 2 teams to win. If you stack 4 teams, you need 4 teams to win in all likelihood, and that ends up making it a pretty big challenge. But yeah, on a slate like this, you might have to do something wonky like that and just try to get the points where you can and fit in the teams you like, no matter how you can do it. It's tough. I mean, you could try to do a one-off, but I don't know on a 4-game slate if that's the best way to go about it either. I'm not really sure. It's a little bit tough, man.
My favorite part is that if you can make a 2 favorite lineup, like just a 4-3 stack with the 2 LCK favorites, like you can do, or if you don't consider either Afrika or Red Force favorites, like you can play T1 with either and be fine in a 4-3. But like we say, like over and over, like playing 2 Korean favorites when there are 2 high-scoring Chinese teams on the slate, like it just seems like you're gonna have that lineup where it's like win, 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 and currently winning 0.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. Like, the upside's not great in that NS Afrika series, I don't think. And we talk about all the time how even in wins, Red Force, they don't really score very well except for Diakdam. So you could try to play him maybe, but I mean, man, it's just, I don't know if you're going to get enough points out of that series, right? So it's tough, but at the same time, I mean, if that's all you can fit in, that's all you can fit in, right? Like maybe it's better to just get 2 favorites, and if they both win, you're all right, because you can't fit the 2 Chinese teams together like at all, really. And so I don't know. It's a tough one, man. I mean, usually I come in with a little better lean on things, but I just haven't liked anything I've tried to build so far today. So it's kind of throwing me a little bit,
Well, I just feel like we usually are, when we have a huge favorite like EDG, we're like, all right, well, if we just take the second biggest favorite, we get some decent salary savings and we can play them with maybe the 3rd favorite or the 4th. The problem is that the 4th favorite is a total stay away from us, and that's also the series that has the theoretically the best underdog. And if you throw both of them out, now you're like, all right, now I need an upset. I have to imagine that DRX is the most popular underdog. I'm gonna, not even counting Afrika, just because that one's basically a toss up. But like,
yeah.
Even so, like I guess we could see some like EDG DRX lineups. I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
I can get behind that. I think T1 are going to win, but T1 have been so up and down all year. It's I don't think it's stupid to take a shot against them, especially on this slate where if you want to play one of the 2 Chinese favorites, you got to play an underdog. You pretty much have to play DRX because it's hard to even fit with Afrika. So I can get behind doing that. I mean, I don't expect DRX to win, but how many times have I said that about T1 this year, that I expect them to win and then they end up losing? So I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, it's not like DRX are a horrible team, right? Yeah. And they are pretty cheap, honestly. They're the second cheapest on the slate, I think. So I can get behind that for sure, even though I don't think that they're going to win, basically. But I definitely see like the rationale to do that.
Even just to like nail it again of how expensive EDG is. You can't even do a 4-3 EDG DRX with Viper captain. Like it just, and it's like for DRX being the second cheapest, second biggest underdog, and you can't even get them with EDG. Like, I just wonder how popular, like what the ownership difference will be between EDG and JDG, just because JDG gives you at least the ability to play, double 80 carry or something like that, whereas the EDG prices are just so prohibitive unless you're like all in on LNG or DRX, and even then, like, I don't know why you're that confident in them.
Right, I know. I don't know. I guess at that point it's just in for a penny, in for a pound, right? But
right.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, and then with JDG, like, you don't get that much salary savings, and I just think they don't have as much upside in this matchup as EDG does against E-Star. So it's like, if you want to play JDG, I mean, why not just get the $200 more and get the EDG piece? But then those $200 adds up, and then you can't pair EDG very well with anything. So that's definitely the biggest difficulty of this slate. It's a challenging one for sure.
Is the gap between EDG and E-Star so big that, like, maybe EDG doesn't score that well?
It could happen. I know we talk about that a lot, in matchups like this, but I just feel like EDG are a team that will get there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel they're not like a slow-paced team. I feel like pretty confident that they're going to get close to 20 kills in every game they win. So, and I can't say that about JDG all the time. And, I think this is a tough matchup. So you can look at that JDG LNG one in two ways. Is it a tough enough matchup that they're going to have to get, it's going to be competitive back and forth enough? Or is it just going to be slow paced between two slow teams and, we're not going to get the points we want? That's the concern with that series, I think.
Is there a jungler that we should be prioritizing?
I mean, you can't really. I mean, I tried to make some Kanavi lineups, and you really can't even get him in the captain spot with two favorites. It's
right.
So that makes it tough. Like, I'm not gonna say, like, you could go with a Peanut captain,
right?
But do you have that much confidence in Red Force? Like, I really don't. I don't know. But like Peanut, he hasn't really been crazy this year, but he has been in the past. Like, he's been a carry jungler, and in their last series last Friday, he did lead the team with 13 kills, so it could happen. I'm not that confident, in him at this point in his career, but I think if they win, he could put up a good score, so he could be a guy that you look at. And then, like, JJ, you can't do it, man. Like, I like, him and Kanavi are just expensive as junglers in the captain role too, so It makes it tough. And then Cuz is, like, not the guy we think of to really take over games usually, so I'm not, like, full-on prioritizing him either. So it's just the pricing is really throwing a wrench into everything, man.
I really don't think I've ever seen a slate where you couldn't play a single combination of two teams. That, like, the fact that you can't even do a team slot captain for EDG and JDG, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, no, it's crazy. Yeah, it's tough. That's what I mean. Like, the slate, like, on paper, when you look at the matchups, it's not, like, tough when you have to decide who's going to win for the most part. It's just when the pricing comes into play, it makes it a real challenge. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's just, like, usually I feel like we're like, okay, even though it's double support or even, like, double top lane, we're like, we know that's the chalk build for cash games, but like, that's not happening on this slate.
No, it's crazy, man.
All right. If you guys have enjoyed the video, if you could please hit the like button below. Feel free to subscribe for all of the RotoWire videos. If you're also interested in a RotoWire subscription, you can go to rotowire.com/pod, P-O-D, to get 10 free days on the site. No credit card required. Gets you access to all of the sports we cover, as well as our subscriber Discord chat, where you can discuss how the heck we get around EDG and JDG being unable to be combined on this slate. So, Ethan, thank you for that, and good luck on Friday.
All right. I think we're going to need it, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow.